Hi friends, welcome to this week's video. Today I'm sharing with you 4 recipes for you to try during the upcoming Navratri season. Now, growing up, I didn't celebrate Navratri in a big way, although I was certainly aware of it. One of the many legends surrounding Navratri says that the goddess Durga fought with Mahishasura the demon, and on the 9th day she was able to behead him. So like many of our Hindu festivals, Navratri seems to celebrate the victory of good over evil. What this has to do with fasting or abstaining from certain ingredients, I really don't know. But after I got married, I met many of my mother-in-law's friends who fasted, my bhabhi's friends who fasted. And when I learned a little bit more about the custom of fasting or Vrat, I became very interested in many of the ingredients that are quite popular during the Navratri season. So in this video, I'm giving you 4 recipes that you can try for the upcoming Navratri, or Upvas as it's sometimes called. The first recipe that I'm sharing with you is for Masala Makhane. Makhane are called lotus seeds or fox nuts in English, and they make for a very delicious and healthy snack. The first thing you need to do is toast the makhane over medium-high heat. This is going to give them a lovely nutty flavor and aroma, but it's also going to make them delightfully crispy and crunchy. Once the makhane are toasted, you can transfer them to a bowl. It's time to work on the spice element. So I'm adding a bit of vegetable oil to a skillet over medium-high heat, and I'm now adding some spices. The ingredients that you are meant to consume during Navratri vary from region to region. So if I'm using a spice in this recipe that you are abstaining from, then definitely feel free to substitute something else. Most of the time, jeera tends to be okay. Black pepper is usually acceptable. Similarly, sentha namak or rock salt is widely used during this season. I'm just giving the makhane a final toss to make sure that my ingredients are combined, make sure that those spices are nicely coating the lotus seeds, and that's it. This is a very quick snack that you can make. It stays really well. It stays crispy for at least 2 or 3 days, but it probably won't last that long because once you get going, it's very difficult to stop eating makhane. The next recipe that I have for you is Sabudana Chila. There are certain ingredients that tend to work overtime during Navratri, and in my opinion, those are sabudana or sago, potato, and peanut. This recipe contains all 3 of those ingredients, among other ingredients. Now, the sabudana has to be soaked in advance, so if you're going to make this, it does require a little bit of forethought. However, sabudana is something that you can keep in the fridge for a few days. So if you are fasting, you could soak several cups of sabudana and store it in the fridge to use in your recipes throughout the 9 days of Navratri. After combining all the ingredients and thoroughly mashing everything together, it's time to shape the cheela. In my opinion, this is best done on a piece of cling wrap, and then you can transfer the cheela very easily onto a skillet over medium-high heat. Each cheela should be cooked for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. You want to keep cooking it and flipping it until it has achieved the texture that you like. The remarkable thing about sabudana is that it will get crispy on the outside, but it will retain its chewiness and squishiness on the inside. You can serve these cheela with chutney or yogurt for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. They're very satisfying and very filling. The next recipe is a halwa made from ragi or finger millet flour. This recipe starts off with 3 to 4 tablespoons of ghee. Some of the recipes I've already shown you have been cooked in a bit of vegetable oil, but there are people who abstain from vegetable oil during this Upvas season and will only make their food in pure ghee. Now, once you've melted the ghee, added the ragi flour, and those two ingredients are combined, it's time to add our sweetening agent, which in this case is gur or jaggery. It's unprocessed cane sugar. Now that these three ingredients, the ghee, ragi flour, and jaggery, are combined and they've achieved a sort of sandy texture, it's time to add the milk. We're adding about a cup to a cup and a half, and it's going to depend on the texture of halwa that you prefer. The halwa is coming along nicely. We've added some lovely cardamom powder. The ingredients are nicely combined. If it looks like it's drying out to you, you can add a little more milk. But it's almost time to stop because we are nearing the perfect texture, the texture that I like anyway, which is nice and jiggly. The only thing left to do is transfer the halwa to a dish and garnish it with some nuts of your choice or some raisins if you prefer, or both. In my research, I came across an article that talked about feeding ragi to babies, something about it being very high in calcium. Anyway, I thought I would let Mahi try a little bit of my halwa, and I think he enjoyed it. All right, friends, down to our last recipe now. It's a fun one. We have Sabudana Tikka, and this recipe has two of our heavy hitters. We have potato and sabudana. No peanuts this time, but I've decided to add a sweet element to these tikkis or tikkiyan. I'm adding a handful of raisins, and I really suggest that you do not skip the raisins because they add a very delightful and unexpected sweetness to these tikkis. These ingredients, like sabudana and potato, are consumed so much during Navratri that I sometimes wonder whether all of these recipes start to taste a little bit alike. But the fact is, there are many ingredients, so many ingredients that I haven't even had a chance to explore. Maybe for the upcoming Navratri. Believe it or not, there are actually 4 Navratris in the year. This one, which is the Sharada Navratri, is the most popular, but there are 4 Navratris. Anyway, maybe for one of those I will explore more of these Upvas ingredients. Alright, having shaped my tikkiya, I am now cooking them on my skillet over medium-high heat. They need to cook for 2 to 3 minutes on each side or until they've achieved the desired texture that you like. And it does help to flatten them a little bit while they cook. It gives them the sort of traditional tikki shape, which is like a medallion. You can enjoy these tikkiya with chutney. I am enjoying them with some dhania chutney. It's an Upvas safe chutney made from dhania, ginger, rock salt, jaggery, and lemon juice. It was quite tasty, actually. I, of course, had to at least show them to Rumi, seeing as the goddess Durga is in fact the ultimate cat lady. He didn't seem very impressed, but we certainly enjoyed these tikkiya. Mahi was not very keen on them, but that was okay. It just meant more for us. Friends, I really hope that you enjoyed this Navratri special video. 4 recipes for you to try. They're pretty simple recipes, and if you do give them a try, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you're fasting, if you're trying your hand at any of these seasonal ingredients. I would love to hear from you. And I hope that you're happy and safe wherever you are, and I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.